G'day everyone, Adam here going overland, and this week I want to talk to you about why we travel in an old truck, alright, an old four-wheel drive. And hit us up, send us a photo of your rig on Instagram or Facebook. Show us what you got and what vintage is it. This is a 93 GQ Patrol, over 315,000 Ks on the clock now. And look, Larissa's got a new car for at home, I've got a new car for work. But we like to tour in this old bus. It's got character, it's got rattles, it's got squeaks. You know, things break on it, but you can repair it. So I'm going to run through why I bought this truck. All right. My criteria was coil springs front and rear, disc brakes front and rear, solid axle front and rear, aircon, power steering, and comfortable and affordable. So that's why we got this. There's not a lot on the market that ticks all those boxes. Alright, so why do we have an old truck? You know, we can afford a new truck, but why do we have an old truck? Well, first of all, have a look at this. It's been sitting under the trees. It's got mud and dirt and staining on the paintwork. So if this was a new truck, I'd be like, oh, I got to get home and wash it. So we do take care of it, but you know, it doesn't matter if we put a light scratch in it or a ding in it four-wheel drive, and it's not the end of the world. It is a shame to do it, but you know, it doesn't matter. It's an old truck, it's four-wheel driving, so it's gonna get damage on it. So imagine if having a 200 series, you know, 80,000 plus all the accessories, 100,000 maybe more, and you put a scratch in it four-wheel drive and you'd be tearing your hair out. So an old truck's good. Also, look at the other overlanders on YouTube. People like Grizzly and Bear, the Overland Travelers. There's a couple in the 70 series trooping going around the world. They started in Australia. Overland something or other, I'll put it in. They've all got old trucks, and it's for a reason. Anything mechanical can be fixed. Anything computerized has to go back to the dealer. So something breaks on this, we can find a way of sorting it out, limping home, no problem at all. In a new car, sensor goes wrong, computer shuts down. What dramas. Work car, you see how many drums they have with that thing. So we've been on the road for a week, and let me show you the interior. If this was a new truck, I think I'd be doing my head in. Have a look at this. There's mud all over the floor. There's mud's coming in through the window. When you're down, you know, there's dust all over it, which will wipe off pretty easy. Being no carpet, vinyl floors. It's not too bad considering, but if this was a new truck with carpet, ugh, couldn't imagine if all that mud we've had last week.
Pretty deep.
Yeah.
That's really deep.
So for me growing up, people like Albie Mangle, the Leyland brothers, seeing their trip going up Cape York for the first time. Even the bloke who went across the Simpson Desert in the G60, you know, these blokes, these real blokes driving real trucks. And they'd set them up to do their trips, and it wasn't the car doing the driving, it was the blokes doing the driving. They were covered in mud and dust and everything was dirty. And I remember Albie Mangle once on this track throwing all his gear on this mud run so we could make it through. They're the blokes that inspired me, and they had awesome four-wheel drives. They didn't have this computer everything. You know, That's why I like driving an old truck. You're driving, you know. Overlanding an old rig, it's you can feel the road, you feel the dust, you can feel the heat. It's not just sitting back hitting cruise control and just, you know, looking at the scenery. You're actually part of the experience. Yeah, I don't know. Something I really enjoy, just driving the old truck on these big trips. Another thing about having an old truck is the ability to work on them. They're so easy, there's so much room, and it's fun. Like, I enjoy tinkering and stuff. So the last couple of weeks we've changed the whole power steering fluid, all the cooling system except for the radiator and the heater, new tappet cover, and everything was done with all the tools in the truck. So nothing technical, nothing precise. You just unbolt things, change things, bolt them back in. So under the bonnet, that's where you really notice the older trucks. This is mechanical everything. There are no sensors on the engine. If you start the motor, you can take the battery out and it'll still run. You don't need any charge. We've had it before where the alternators died and we still got home. Modifications easier to fit. And when something's about to fail, it won't just fail it like that. We've always had it where something's going wrong with it. 3-4 weeks of notice. If something sounds wrong, something doesn't feel right, and then finally it lets you down. But we've never had anything where it's just bang, stopped and didn't work. There's always a tell. New trucks with sensors and stuff, sometimes those sensors just go like that. And you say, oh, how do you know you got an old truck? But I got a new work car and it's failed a few times. So, and I've had it since day one and it's 3 years old. And it's been to the mechanics more than this truck. And it's not a cheap thing. So don't tell me about new cars and how great they are. Yeah, I don't know. The old trucks just have character. The new trucks, yeah, my brother's got a new truck. It's over there. It's a 2-year-old Hilux. And it's just like every other Hilux on the road. But I don't know. I like my old truck. I think I'll keep it for a while. So one of the good reasons about owning an old truck is the 4-drive capability. If you have a look out under the GQ, look at that big diff, big coils, big brakes, everything's solid. Look at the steering on the thing, big steering. So, you know, the old trucks were built as 4-wheel drives. The new ones I think are built more for on-road and the city owners. And they're built so people buy them, where these were built as 4-wheel drives. So like I said earlier, coil springs, solid axles, who wants drum brakes? Have you ever had a 4-wheel drive drum brakes? Fill up with sand and mud and crap and they chew out. Why would you have drum brakes on a 4-wheel drive? It just does me head in. I don't know why all the utes have drum brakes, and I don't know why the 70 series Land Cruiser, the new ones, why do they have leaf springs? Why is their axle too narrow? Why can't they build a proper 4-wheel drive these days? And the old girl, she's never let us down. She's always got us to somewhere, she's got us home. It's never broken down. So you can't argue with that. You know, our life depends on it. When we went out to the Simpson Desert solo and towing, if this thing let us down, there's no backup from that. So, you know, I put a lot of trust in this old truck and she pulls through every time. So, you know, could I trust a new car as much as this thing? I don't know. It might take a few years for a new truck to get that confidence. But like I was saying before, if anything's gonna fail, there's always a tell. And it never just happens. There's a tell and you've got to be watching for those tells. You pop your bonnet on the trips every day. You listen for things, you feel things. You don't ignore things. If we're on a big trip and we're solo and we're in a town and we don't leave that town if there's an issue. Not that there's ever been an issue on a trip, but the rule is for us, if we get to a town and there's something not right with the car or camper, we stay in that town till it's fixed. We don't keep pushing on. Maybe if you're in a convoy you can, But when you're on your own, you stay in that town until you sort it out. There's no point risking going 50 kilometres up the road and something breaking. Sort it out and then go. And let's not forget the best thing about an old truck, the way they sound. There's nothing that beats the diesel 6-cylinder, turbocharged 6-cylinder diesel. You know, there's lots that can go wrong with a 4-wheel, any 4-wheel. But the more technical it is, it seems like the more issues you're going to have. We've come across people in the Simpson Desert towing. The computers were shutting down because they were saying the transmission was overheating. Cape York, we're seeing multiple electronic control vehicles waiting for tow trucks because the electronics got wet. Nothing was wrong mechanically, but sensors have gotten wet, computers shutting down. For me, having an overland rig that is simple, reliable and strong is the way to go. So until I can find something newer that I can upgrade this, we'll just keep fixing things, keep replacing things, and keep this old girl going. Maybe in another 30 years, eh? Oh well, I hope you liked the video. Please, subscribe, like. We've got some big stuff coming up, so stick around for all that. Cheers guys, have a good one.